Okay, so let's address the elephant in the room. SEO is changing at like an unprecedented rate, and I believe, and I'm going to be the first to say it, that most businesses and even the service which most SEO agencies are providing is outdated and in the past, and it's not with the times of how you get found organically online. Let's dive into it. Okay, so in this video, I want to show you like if I was to adopt a 2025 SEO strategy, this is what I would do, because we're throwing out these keywords. We're talking about how we optimize for AEO, GEO. Like, I think we should not be adding new terms, because what's happening here is SEO is fundamentally being reinvented in front of our eyes. The strategy we need to use, the way it can impact our business, everything is going to change. So let's dive in first and talk about basically SEO agencies. I think they're in the past. I think they're outdated. And I think a lot of them will claim we're going to get your website higher up on Google. And to do that, they're going to follow this similar strategy. So they're going to do keyword research. Then they're going to do on-page SEO, write your meta titles, your meta descriptions, sort out your page speed. Then they're going to write a blog post every week. They're going to build you some links every month. And then they're going to track it. And this is how most SEO agencies operate. This is the strategy which most businesses use to do their SEO. And to be honest, like now that organic search is such a massive word, like this is the baseline. This is the minimum any business should be doing. Like you need to be doing more than this in 2025. And like I said here, search isn't just Google. And this isn't news to anyone, but search is AI models, search is social media platforms, and search is communities. Those three things make up search. But it's not just that. It's not just about the fact that people are searching in other places. It's also the fact, let's look at how Google's algorithm is changing. Let's look at how ChatGPT is picking up on who it's going to talk about. It's all authority across different platforms. So it's almost like a web now. If you have a presence on LinkedIn and TikTok and Instagram, and then you have some communities where you're talking about on Reddit and Quora, you are going to feed into this, the web of the future of search. So all these AI models are picking up on authority signals from these platforms, which is why SEO is no longer just writing a blog post. And this is what most SEO agencies are offering you. Writing a blog post about a good long tail keyword. Like that's your bare minimum. That's your bare minimum. You need to be doing more than that. And let's talk about it. Okay, so modern day SEO is being the authoritative answer everywhere questions are asked. It's authority in one word. It means authority. Authority across multiple channels, authority across the internet. Like this isn't just how ChatGPT picks out answers, it's how Google looks at answers now. So if we look at so this is comparing basically citations across where ChatGPT is pulling its answers from. So we can see Reddit, we can see Wikipedia, YouTube. Google is fourth. So if you're showing up first place on Google, that's actually not as important as these three platforms ahead. And then we've got other platforms. We've got Facebook, we've got LinkedIn, Quora, Yahoo, like Instagram. We have so many other platforms feeding into what gets us ranked on AI search. So this is how I do SEO in 2025, because this is the strategy which most businesses aren't doing, and they need to be doing. Okay, so firstly, on-page SEO, I mentioned it up here, and I said that it's outdated and old-fashioned. It needs to be done, 100%. Like, you can't, it's not something that can be skipped, and most businesses will just do it, but think that's enough. And to be honest, on-page SEO and having your technical SEO sorted is the baseline, and it doesn't need to be done month to month. Like, a lot of agencies retain a kind of random on-page deal about writing meta titles, writing meta descriptions. Like you can write a meta title, you can write a meta description, you can write a blog post with AI. All of your on-page stack should be and can be automated. So there's no point in like spending all your time on your on-page, because this is your baseline. Every brand needs to have image alt text. They need to have their meta descriptions written, their headers well researched. But once you've done that, that's your foundations, and you can build on from there. Now this is the funnel I think is going to change organic visibility for businesses, and actually is changing a lot of organic visibility for businesses. It's this, and it looks quite simple, but it's essentially a content repurposing cycle. Because like what I talked about here, we need to have authority across multiple different platforms, because if we can have authority across these platforms, then that strengthens Google's algorithm for when it chooses where to rank us. It certainly strengthens ChatGPT, Perplexity, and Claude, and we can see that in this graph here. So what we're going to do is, firstly, instead of kind of keyword research, I like to think of it more like question mining. And the way I do that is we look at what people are talking about in your community, in your service. So like I'm looking on Reddit, I'm looking on Quora, I'm looking on LinkedIn every day about kind of SEO. And what are people talking about in the SEO space at the moment? Well, it's very much Reddit focused. So everyone wants to work about kind of a Reddit strategy. Everyone's talking about AEO. Like I know what's going on because I'm constantly staying across these communities. And I think that's way more powerful than doing some random keyword research, which you're kind of blind to. You've really got to understand what people are talking about, what the trend is, and what questions people are asking, right? And use those questions, use those trends to create blog content. Now, like this is where most agencies are going to stop. They're going to write a blog and they're going to repeat this cycle. Keyword research, blog content, keyword research, blog content. But this extra stage is what is going to put you ahead of everyone else who is trying to rank for organic visibility across ChatGPT, across Google. And it's content repurposing. It's content repurposing. So taking that core blog content and turning that into a YouTube video, taking that YouTube video and creating short form media out of it for TikTok, for Instagram, then creating a LinkedIn post, and then engaging on relevant communities. We know how important Reddit is from this graph. It's the most cited source by ChatGPT. Both Gemini and ChatGPT have signed contracts with Reddit to basically pull as much data as they can from Reddit. So then we're going to go and use this blog post and use this information we've built to go reply and talk and start conversations on Reddit, on Medium, on Quora, write a LinkedIn post about it, create a YouTube video about it. And what we're doing here, come back to this graph, is suddenly we are ticking off Reddit, we're ticking off YouTube, we're ticking off Google, we're ticking off LinkedIn, we're ticking off Quora, we're ticking off Facebook. Like suddenly we are across multiple platforms. And this is what needs to be done. It is content repurposing. High quality content repurposing is how you show that your brand actually has authority. And I think this opportunity is huge because businesses just aren't doing this because they think it's difficult. They think it's too hard to do, and it's not. It's not. If you have the right system in place, you can create high quality content and repurpose it. And not just that, like, it's not just that this is going to massively enable us to get onto ChatGPT search, massively enable us to get onto Google search, but we're then going to have a presence on YouTube. We're going to have a bigger presence on LinkedIn. We're going to have a presence on Instagram. So we have all these channels opening up, which we're not even trying to do. Essentially, they are feeding back into our ChatGPT rankings and feeding into our Google rankings. That's how we're building high quality material. But we've also kind of got that as a side benefit. So content repurposing and authority. That is the strategy every business needs to start implementing. And the businesses that do, I will say this now, are going to succeed. If this is something your business is looking to, adopt, then let's have a chat because we have built a system which takes businesses through this exact strategy, and we got some great results to prove it. Okay, thank you for watching. Cheers. Bye bye.